Showing you guys how I personally highlight and contour using cream products. Now this is a little bit more of a dramatic highlight and contour, whereas I'm baking and I'm also sharpening up my contour and using more highlighter and everything like that. So if that personally is not what you're looking for, you might as well click out of this video, because that's what this is, as you could probably see. So if this video is for you, make sure you stay tuned. I am using a little bit more of a higher end makeup. If I can try to get a cream highlight and contouring video using drugstore makeup, I will try to get that out, but I've got to honestly look into my kit and see what all I've got, because it's literally all over the place and just, yeah, it's all in new places. So, oh, I also forgot to mention, if you're loving this makeup look, make sure you check the description box. I will have it linked down there whenever I do put the makeup tutorial up, just so you guys can go ahead and look at this. And this will just have the eyes and the lips in it, just because I am obviously doing the face on this video. This video also does include blush, highlighter, what else? That's it. Everything else. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Bye. Hey guys, so the first thing you want to do is make sure your base has a flawless canvas. So I'm going to start by priming my skin, and today I'm going to use the Benefit POREfessional primer. It's to minimize the pores, but I'm kind of going to use it all over my face. I'm mainly going to focus this right into my pore area, but I'm also going to smooth this around the skin. I have fairly large pores right here in my cheek area. So that's where I focus the most of this product, and then I just kind of blend it all out, so that way, you know, my foundation has something to sit on and it just lays a little bit more flawlessly. So then I'm going to go in with foundation, and today I'm using the Tarte Amazonian Full Coverage Foundation. Ooh, that's a mouthful. This is a 12-hour foundation. It's oil free, but it does have SPF in it. I personally never had any problems with flashback or anything like that, and this foundation is hands down my favorite foundation. So when I look at my foundation collection, this is the one I'm always reaching for. It's about 36 or 38 bucks, so it's fairly inexpensive for high-end, you know, type of brands, and it's really full coverage. So I really love using this product. So I just like to put it in sections. I am in the shade Rich Honey, so it is a little bit more of a warm type of tone, but it works really well for my skin tone. I find this is the best coverage for my skin color. So I'm gonna just blend that out with a Sigma Round Top Kabuki F82 brush. This is my favorite brush to use, and if you wanted to sheer this out a little bit, you can use a beauty blender and that will sheer it out. But if you want a little bit more full coverage like I like, you can just use the brush, and the brush is just going to make sure more of the product is on your skin as opposed to being sheared out. So then I am going to highlight the face, and today I'm using my MAC Prolong Concealer in the shade NC45. I only like using this concealer when I kind of want more of a full coverage, I guess you could say just full coverage. So I take about 2.5 pumps, and today I'm going to put it on with a Sigma Large Concealer F55 brush, and I'm just going to focus this right underneath of my eyes mainly in a kind of triangular form. I'm also going to use this to sharpen up my eyeshadow, and I also take it a little bit on my chin and on my cupid's bow, whatever I have left on this brush from doing under my eyes. Then I'm going to also take it down the bridge of my nose and the center of my forehead. I'm just highlighting all of the areas where your face naturally kind of is naturally more prominent, I guess you could say. So I'm accentuating, bringing those features forward, if that makes a little sense. So I am just putting this on with this brush, and then I'm gonna go in and blend it out with my Sigma, my beauty blender. And I do use my beauty blender damp just because I feel like it works the product in a little bit better. If you don't like to use your beauty blender damp, you can use it dry. It's whatever you want, to each its own. But this MAC Prolong Concealer does dry a little bit quick, so I just have to hurry and blend that out. So I'm gonna shut up. I also bring this concealer up along the side of my nose. The reason I do that is just for when I go in and contour my nose, bringing the concealer in a little bit is already going to give it that kind of structured look, make it appear a little bit smaller already. So when I go into contour, I already have, I guess you could say, these lanes, quote unquote. Don't call me lanes. I'm just gonna call them lanes. Right in here that it's giving me the area where I need to go in and darken. So I just bring it in a little bit closer. If you're not comfortable with that right away, you don't have to do it right away. I didn't start doing this until a couple of months ago when I saw Makeup Shayla do it. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense, you know? Just bring it in if you want to make your nose appear a little bit smaller. Now, I have nothing wrong with my nose. I don't, you know, I'm not insecure about my nose or anything else. I just like to give it the illusion that it's smaller than it is. Then you can just go back in with your round top Kabuki brush and just use this to blend out the edges so it's not so harsh. So for contouring, I'm going to use this BlackUp contouring stick in the shade number 4. I showed you guys this about 3 or 4 weeks ago on my Snapchat. I was going to do a Sephora haul, but I scratched it. This is, BlackUp is a brand based out of Paris, France. So they do cater more towards African American women in darker skin tones. So like it literally, there's like a huge variety. They are a little bit more pricier, whereas they're a little bit like $30 to $50. So it's like that range. This contouring stick, one side is the highlighting side, and I just find that this highlighting side isn't light enough for my personal preference, but if you do buy this stick, it might be light enough for you, but I find it's a little bit dark. It's a little bit like my skin tone, I guess you could say. And then the other side is the darker side, and this side is what you want to contour with. So this is pretty much a 2-in-1 stick. You should be able to highlight and contour, but I chose number 4, so it's a little bit darker, so that means the highlighting shade is a little bit darker. So if I wanted to highlight and contour with this, I would need to go a shade or 2 down. So anyways, I'm going to use the darker shade. I'm going to use this to contour. So when I contour, I'm going to take it pretty much from the tops of my ear down to about right here from the edge of my eye. So that's as far as I'm going to take that on the sides of my cheekbones. Contour along the side of your forehead to give that a smaller illusion, because I have a large forehead, so I really contour my nose, and then contouring your nose and your forehead. So those are the planes that you want to contour. This product is also very, very, very creamy. It's very blendable and creamy. So to blend this out along the perimeter of my face, I'm going to use my Sigma 3D HD Kabuki brush. I just love this brush for contouring and kind of cream contouring, so I'm just going to use this brush to blend all of that out. I'm also going to take my beauty blender and just kind of roll it to kind of help blend everything in. To blend out my nose, I'm going to use a Sigma Precision Angled P84 brush. And I also work my finger in as well. When you're finished with blending out all of your creams, you want to make sure you go ahead and set them all. So to set my under eye concealer, I'm kind of going to bake a little bit, and I'm going to use my Sacha Buttercup setting powder. And I'm just going to place that under my eye with my beauty blender. While all of that is baking, I'm going to go ahead and set the cream contour with my Nikki Garret contouring palette. This is in the shade Dark, and I'm going to use a Sigma F55 small contour brush. And I'm just going to kind of go over it very, very, very lightly. I'm not going to really concentrate too much of the powder product on it too much. And I'm going to worry about my nose after I'm done wiping away all of my powder from my contouring. So to kind of sharpen up the contour, if you want to do this, I don't do it every single day. I do it when I want a more like boom, dramatic type of highlighting contour and all of that. You can use a setting powder that's a little bit closer to your skin tone. Today I'm going to use Ben Nye's Topaz translucent setting powder, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this underneath of where I applied my contour. So this is just going to bake underneath of that. So now I'm just going to blend away all of the powder. I'm not letting this sit down here too long, so I'm just going to blend it all away with a Sigma Tapered Highlighter F55 brush. And just use this to brush away all of this powder. And I'm also going to take that Nikki Garret powder and just set my nose contour. And then for blush, I'm just going to finish the rest of my face since I'm already here in front of the camera. For blush, I'm going to use Jordana's Coral Sandy Beach. This is a powder brush blush, and I love, love, love Jordana's blushes. And I'm just using this with a Sigma Duo Fibre F55 brush. I like using Duo Fibre brushes because I always go in after my highlight, after I apply my highlight, and blend it out a little bit with a Duo Fibre brush. So I just think of it as a 2-in-1 when I use it with my powder blush. And it's just going to sheer it out a little bit as well. And then for highlight, I'm going to use my oldie but goodie trusty Laura Geller's Gilded Honey. This is the Gelato Swirl highlighter, and I'm using a BH Cosmetics fan brush, and I'm just going to apply this right on the tops of my cheekbones. And then just go back in and blend everything out. And I'm gonna head over to the original video of this look and finish the rest of my lips and everything else. And I'll be right back. I can feel my face when I'm with you.